Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Anil Joshi. Welcome you to my series Iconological and Temple Architectural Perspectives. But in the context today, we are going to study evolution of temples. How the temples were evolved. How a concept of constructing a temple came to a primitive human. So this is very interesting. We are going to go through that and then we'll understand how the deities were created, how the deities were worshipped, and what made people believe that there are deities. Yes, correct. All these questions we are going to answer this series. So let's start getting with the idol worship. Why at all there is idol worship today? Why at all the idol should be worshipped? And when we presume God is everywhere is God, means God is everywhere and everywhere is God. So what is the need for any idol? What is the need for any worship? Now it has come through acknowledging something, to offer our gratitude towards something. Now how this gratitude came is very interesting. For that we had to find right out where the life has evolved. It evolved on the North Pole. Okay, and from North Pole people were having problem because of cold weather, and they realized that as they started migrating towards a South Pole, they start finding the atmospheres are more sunny, and when there is more sunny they started finding there is more light, and when they started finding more light everything was better. So what they started realizing is there is something in the light or sun from whom we get all these things. Why not offer our gratitude? Secondly, they are depending highly on the water, rain, rivers. These are the water sources, or the big reservoirs of water. Now they started thinking that if I am depending my life on it, yes, I should acknowledge also. So people started acknowledging it. So this is the reason why Pancha Mahabhutas came into the existence and why people started worshipping it. And it is true that God is everywhere. So why not? He was in these things also. So people started worshipping rain, water, and from that they started realizing the cattle are better, the growth of the tree is better, and when they started farming they started depending on these two things heavily. Third thing what was happening is wind, air was important, but what's about excess wind? That is storms. So out of that a fear started coming to them that if there is lot of water, too much water, that is heavy raining, or if there is too much wind, then also there is a problem. So what they thought that was as the will of these two things. So they say why not please them? So they started worshipping them and started pleasing them. So what they offered is whatever was with them. So again with the help of some fruits, some something which they had fruits, they had vegetables, sometimes they had animals. So all these things they thought is something we should be given to the God or given to them, so that they will keep us in good atmosphere. So that's how a migration from North Pole towards South Pole, people started finding better living conditions, and they started finding the habitat more habitual for them, and whatever was giving them was better. That's why as far as sun is concerned, rain is concerned, wind is concerned, and shelter is concerned. Once they started a concept of shelter, there comes the cave. So they started living in a cave. So earliest acknowledgement of them was within the cave. They were drawing the pictures on the walls of the cave, and even today after so many years, that is 5,000 to 6,000 years, in 5,000 to 10,000 years this thing was happening, we can get evidences of pictures over the cave walls. I'm going to show them to you also. Then a thought of considering somebody as a supremo came to the people at that time. So that was actually who was the Supremo? They just name him. Pashupati is a person who is behind all these things, or Indra, who is the god of rain and water. So they started worshipping them. The earliest incidence of symbol worshipping is found in Sindhu Valley civilization. We find a statue of possibly Parvati, that is the goddess Parvati, and one of the Pashupati-natha. So these two things we accept as the proof that idol worship was there during the either Harappan civilization, or you can say Rakhi Gadi. At both the places we have found all these things in the excavations. So there is reasons to believe that these things were existing. Now Indus Valley, if we consider, it is around 2500 to 1500, plus you add 2000 of this. Now this, what we are talking is BCE, before Common Era, and now we are in Common Era, CE. So it makes almost a difference of 5000 years. That is the minimum. How we know it is because of the carbon dating. So we have found murtis there, that is idols, symbols, whatever you call is, or a pratima of the god. But it is said that if nobody has seen the god, how a pratima is created. Now pratima is not a god. Pratima is not a god, but it is something which helps you to reach the god. You want to acknowledge, you want to go towards the god. So what pratima does, what an image does. Now I'll give you a very simple example. If you want to reach a certain place, you follow Google Map, of course, right? And the female voice in it tells you, turn right, turn left, go straight. You follow it blindly. Believe me, you follow it blindly when you don't know the destiny. But it takes you to the destiny. What does it indicate? It indicates that if you want to reach certain destiny, that is ultimate truth, you need help of somebody. Now who is this who gives you help? That somebody is either a philosopher, guru, or idols, or you gain knowledge by yourself. All things are available. Now, Saguna and Nirguna are the two types of symbolizations. When there is no symbol and there is a symbol, it is difficult to imagine something and to worship it. That is Nirguna. When you find that the God is everywhere, everywhere is God, but still if you want to worship, you have to imagine certain things, okay, and worship things. It is slightly difficult and time consuming. That is what is said in Bhagavad Gita. So instead what they have suggested, will give you a symbol. We should text it as that God. It's presumed that that symbol is that God, and you start worshipping it. It takes you to the God. So it's a vehicle. It is the way it shows you. And what is the exact role of temple and what is the exact role of idol is this what I'm talking. Everybody want to go towards the ultimate truth. Everybody want to know what this world is, what is going on. So if you want to know that truth, you have to have a path to go, and temples, idols, they give you perfect footings for all these things. So right from the Rakhi Gadi, or right from the Indus Valley civilization, where you have found a bronze statue of Pashupati or Ma Parvati, things are followed, things are accepted, and things are acknowledged. Now, Pashupati-natha or Pashupati and Parvati were few of the symbols, but not necessarily. Many people worship river, many people worship certain plants, like Tulsi plant is worshipped. So worshipping anything is a question of your faith. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong when you are worshipping an idol, or when you do not need anything to offer your worships. You need not go anywhere. God is everywhere. Now another example of Parvati and Rakhi Gadi, certain statues, certain paintings, all have proved beyond doubt that there were idol worships present. Now, some of the Vedic texts do mention the use of the clay or wooden images for ritual purposes. So that was another role it has played, that they have told you how to make an idol. Now, Shantapatha Brahmana. Now, Shantapatha Brahmana is around 8th to 9th century BCE, before Common Era. Mind well, so it comes to 3000 years back. Describe how a clay image of Parvati was made and used for rituals. So 3000 years we can go back and find same. Another example is the Aitarva Brahmana. So that is around 8 to 6. Now these are the different Brahmanas in which it is described. You can go to it, or you can just think, or you can just conclude that around 8000 years it was existing. It was of not of the stone. Some time it was with the wood, sometime with the clay, and later on it started becoming of the metal. So that metal was lasting slightly longer. Now examples is suggested that Murti worship was known to Vedic period. So it was, earliest was the Rigveda, then was Atharvaveda, but almost all that has described it. The period also saw the rise of the Murti worship as a prominent feature of Hinduism. For instance, Ramayana and Mahabharata contain several references of Murti worship. I am going to show you a picture or photograph of Hampi where there is a lingam said to be created by Lakshmana for Rama, because Ram want to worship Shiva, so he has created a water source and lot of Shiva lingams over there. We are going to see that. So this refers back to Ramayana, because Rama was a worshipper of Shiva, and even at Dwarka, Sri Krishna has installed Lord Vishnu. So these are the examples. Now we are finding it in excavations, we are finding it below the sea, all these things, but these things do existed. Moreover, many stone metal sculpture over various deities and saints have been found from this period onward. So you can say around almost 12 to 13,000 years we are finding all these evidences. In Hinduism, the icon images or statue is called as Murti or Pratima. Mind well, Murti or Pratima is not a god. It is replica of God, or it is the representation of God. Any stone can become God provided you give certain rituals to it, and then we presume that we can imagine God is residing over there. That is how in Hinduism an icon image of the statue is called as Murti. It is installed and usually in the home, in a public places or in the temples. Major Hindu traditions such as Vaishnavism is the one which worship Vishnu, then Shaivism which worship Lord Shiva, and Shaktism, it is the worship of power, and their symbols are usually through sun. They use murtis, that is, idols are used. These traditions suggest that it is easier to dedicate time and focus on spirituality through an icon. The Bhagavad Gita clearly states that the only few can have a mind and time to fix an unmanifested absolute. That is something which is not existing, but still you imagine it, and it is much easier to focus it on the qualities, virtues, aspects of manifestations. So what is existing, seeing is believing. It is as simple as that. So those who can believe, those who can imagine are two different people. People who do not need an idol or symbol in front of them to imagine the presence of God, yes, for them also there is a way of worship. And most of the people who cannot, for them are the idols. Now, representation of God is through one's senses and emotion and the heart that you put into. Out of the cult images developed among the Indian religion later by the 1st century, what we are seeing today in most of the temples, a murti in Hinduism is called not a god but image of the god. Now, Lord Shiva and Shivalingam. Shivalingam is representation, Lord Shiva is a god. So the image not necessarily as God, but the image do represent God. So it is as well a god, or it is just like a god, or God is not different than that. That is a symbol representation. The Murti is a form of manifestation of the formless absolute. Now this full world, full universe, nobody knows when it started, when it ended. But one thing everybody knows, this full universe is a God, and God is in full universe. You just cannot separate these two entities, and this is what all this lecture is about. Just like the photograph of a person is not the real person, a murti of an image or the image in Hinduism is not a real God, but it represents God. The image reminds of something of emotional and ritual values of the God to the viewer. Now when a person worships a murti, it is assumed to be manifestation of the essence of spirit of the deity. For so long we are finding what is the symbolization. In Vaishnavism, building of a temple for a murti is considered act of devotion. Now you have got something which you want to worship. You got something which is extremely important for you. And what you will do? You will give it a shelter. Because here you believe that yourself is God and God is you. So if you need something, similarly, you give same protection and same care to the God. So in Vaishnavism, building of a temple for the murti is considered act of devotion. But non-murti symbolization also common, wherein we worship Tulsi, we worship river, we worship direct sun. So all these things are worshipped. Very simple. The Shaivism tradition in Hinduism, what is it? That Shiva may be represented as a masculine idol. He may be represented as half Vishnu and half a Shiva, Harihareshwar. He may be represented as Ardhanarishwara, that is half Shiva and half Parvati. What it indicates? It is the essence of it is the combination of powers, the combination of the tattva, sattva, which you derive from them. So you can get the benefits of Shaivism and Vaishnavism when you worship Harihara. So these all things possibly appear as to avoid conflicts and avoid unnecessary hatred of two different school of thought which are following or which are going towards a same destiny. The worship reveals associated with murti corresponding to ancient cultural practice for a beloved God, and the murti is welcome, taken care and requested also to retire. We bring Lord Ganapati, we request Almighty to come inside Prana Pratishthan. Then we also request after certain time to retire. That means the murti becomes just a clay and mud. But till then it is worship, because we expect or we presume we see God in it. The architectural practice of Hinduism temple in India are described in a Shilpa Sutra. So Shilpa Sutra describes the architectural principles of constructing a temple, and also in Vastu Shastra. Not anywhere you can build a temple. Not anyway like buildings you can construct a temple. Temple has got very specific certain criteria which you will have to follow, which are given in the book of Shilpa Shastra. There is a Shilpa Shastra, there is a Murti Shastra, there is astrology concerned with it. A temple is an encyclopedia. It has got n number of sciences incorporated in it. More we see, more in detail, different sciences we see, we get more and more convinced that this is something encyclopedia. Something is in it, everything is in it. Now, Hindu culture has encouraged aesthetic independence to its temple builders. So we are given a principle that this should be there, this should not be there, it should be like this and like that. Now a Sutradhara, the one who construct a temple, is given a liberty. And you will find at many places the layout is drawn. You will find at many places a small model is built, and then the real construction start. So Hindu culture has encouraged aesthetic independence to the temple builders, and its architects have to some extent has to create their creativity. Now what it has happened is, I'll tell you a very simple example. The technique of North India, technique of South India, you will find mixture of them in Chalukyas. So that is how the combination takes place. Basic principle is same, what we are going to discuss subsequently in this lecture, but there are a lot of changes externally. So that was liberty given to the Sutradhara, one who constructs the temple or the one who designs the temple. A perfect geometry and mathematics, to some extent astrology, is extremely important as far as temple construction is concerned. When we see each and every temple, we go to uniqueness of it. We go to how they have thought this is possible, which is even today impossible. I can show you with the help of examples which we are going to see in subsequent lectures. Now, Hindu temple architecture has many varieties of style, though basic nature remains the same, which we are going to discuss in today's lecture. Today is a basic lecture. Now, essential feature of an inner sanctum, that is Garbhagriha, sanctum sanctorum, purer of the purest, where the God resides, then is that is also called a womb chamber. This is the primary site where the Murti resides. So a primary deity is here, but we have also got temples where there are more Garbhagrihas. That is called 1, 2, 3 or 4. There can be so many deities in the same temple. We are going to see this once we are going to the details of the temples, how they are made, but how the basic principle is maintained there. Now for the ritual, prayers, then people to take rest, people to relax, all things can be taken care by the temple. So also a ambience has to be maintained. There are frequently additional buildings and structures in vicinity of the temple and chambers, which we are going to see in our subsequent part of the lecture, which are largely carved. So they are carved, they are decorated, they can be attached to the temple, or they can be separate. The exterior to Garbhagriha is crowned with Shikhara, or that is in Shikhara is a North Indian and Vimana is a South Indian word. That is also carved, and depending on its style, we can get different type of temple. That is also subsequent lecture, not in this lecture, but it is in subsequent lecture. How the temple Vimanas, Shikharas are different in different styles. Who has developed them? Now, the earliest example of Pallava architecture are the rock-cut temples during 610 to 619, and then between 690 to 900, where we found a weight bearing, that is a standalone structural engineering in the temple construction. This group includes both excavated pillared halls with no external roof except the natural rock and monolithic shrine. So these are the only two things in that. But how that also developed? Let's see in this lecture only, where the natural rock is entirely cut away and carved to give an external roof, or sometimes extended external roof. That is a canopy. That is also made. We'll see. Everything I'll explain you with the help of the pictures. The early temples were mostly dedicated to Shiva, because it was thought that all the powerful male warriors belonged to Shaivism. So they were worshipping Shiva because they were warriors. The art of Western Chalukyas, we have discussed this somewhere else, types of Chalukyas. That is called a Gadak type of architecture, which has got number of ornated temples. Gadak itself is a hub of temples. Do visit our Trilokeshwar Gadak temple video. We have explained to detail all these things, and mainly their area was in between Krishna and Tungabhadra. So this belt was mainly belonging to Chalukyas, Satavahanas, Rashtrakutas, who has developed, or lot of development is done by them. Let's come to one by one. First is Cave Cut Temple. Now, from natural caves, I told you they were staying in the cave. On the wall itself, they started drawing the gods' figures or the paintings. So that was the first. Then they started cave cut temples. Now let's see how. A small shelter where you can find lot of carved Vishnu statues, though they have written Om Namah Shivaya. So dedication of Shiva and Vishnu together. Another carving on the rock. These both are from Hampi. Now here you are seeing that it is partially indoor, partially outdoor. As we told, the evidence of worship idol comes from the Ramayana. This is the place in Hampi, Malyavata Raghunatha temple, where you will find this. Sri Ram was staying here before going to Sri Lanka. Now he want to worship Lord Shiva. So Lakshmana, with the help of his arrow, hit it on the hard rock and created a water source here, and also they carved multiple Shivalingas here, which were worshipped by Lord Rama when they were going to kill Ravana. Look at this, it gives a very clear idea. The external shelter is done later on. Still more detail, except here, the proportion or direction of Nandi. We'll come to the where Nandi should be, but here the Nandi is carved because of carving. It has come at a wrong place. Otherwise, it is always, it faces the Shivalingam. Now this is an open air. This is from the Hassan district. Open air temple of Lord Shiva. Open air temple. For worship, you have to go up the stairs. Beautiful external surroundings, beautiful nature, a peaceful place. Now we are coming to natural caves. This is a natural cave. This is from the Badami. Look at the cave. There is nothing inside, no carvings. Somebody was staying there. Now this is Sugriva Gufa. Sugriva was using it for his residence. And also he has kept ornaments of Ma Sita here, and he returned them to Sri Rama when he came here. So these were the caves where they were worshipping. So cave temple again. This is Sugriva Gufa of Hampi. Large Gufa, you can see it, and I am walking out of it. And hard rocks all around. Now this is a Shabari Gufa, where she was worshipping. So this is also from Hampi. This is near Pampa Sarovar. And one of the beautiful thing here is you can sit here and just close your eyes for meditation, and you will know how many hours you are sitting there. So peaceful, so nice. Now these are some rock paintings which are of earlier age, not exactly of deities, but they are more than 8,000 years back, again from the Hampi. This is the cave number 1 of Badami, cave cut, classical cave cut. See, there is ornation. You can see certain decorations on the wall. The basic aim is to show how a cave cut temple started. Now on the wall you can see here Nataraja. Nataraja is form of Shiva. Dancing Shiva is doing Bharatanatyam. Now how many positions are shown here? Just look. All the positions of Bharatanatyam, which was described by Rishi, Bharata Rishi, are described here. And you can see here Lord Ganapati also, and Nandi also. So These are some classical songs. This is Shiva temple because Ganas are there. If Ganas are outside, they are only called Ganas. If they are with Shiva, they are called as Shiva Gana. This is the ornation which started taking place subsequently in the cave-cut temples. These are again few more cave-cut temples, partially cave-cut, partially they are outside also. And here you are seeing Nandi who is sitting outside, balancing stone, balancing since so many years. Now all these are cave-cut temples. They are from Aiholi. Now if you want to study temple evolution, the best place is Aiholi. I am going to describe it subsequently. Why? Now this is a large cave-cut. You can see how many places it is open. It is open at least from 3 directions. So this is from the Ellora. This is Shiva temple. You can see here the Shiva Parvatis are there. Now interesting feature here, you can see Shiva and Parvati. These are small caves. This I'm showing you to show you a canopy. Look at the canopy. So large, around 30 or 40 feet. This is all cut in a rock. Now to believe you, the largest canopy is here and the largest cave-cut temple is Kailasha temple. Look at the entrance. Now look, the entrance till the end is carved in a single stone. This is the ultimate of rock cut. This is the exterior, and now you have taken it from an aerial view. Look at the aerial view. You have taken 2,000 tons of stones were chiseled from here. Nobody knows where they are gone. But that was the marvelous size. It all is in single stone. Believe me, it all is in single stone. We will definitely have a detailed lecture. It is available on net, on my name itself, in 3 parts. So it beautifully explains. In this lecture, only our aim is to show you a cave cut. So this is one of a cave cut example, which is ultimate of it and last stage of it. Now from here started is partially cave cut and partially constructed. Now these temples are from the, look at this temple just to the side of Shivalinga. This temple is partially in the rock and partially in the constructed. So this you will find 3-4 temples of same variety when you will visit the Hampi. Malyavata Raghunatha temple. This is on the rock, partially inside. Look at this, partially inside and partially outside. This you will find only at Hampi. Otherwise temples are all cut or standalone. Then are the large Shivalingas. This is the Badavalinga, again from the Hampi. Incidentally, it forms a symbol of our front page also, or front page or last page also. Now this is Ugra Narasimha. As you know, Narasimha has got many forms. He is Ugra Narasimha. I'll show you somewhere a meditating Narasimha also. And it is just after he has killed Hiranyakashipu. Everybody knows the story, so I'll not repeat it over here. So at the end of it, he was so furious that to calm, he has done meditation. Now let's come to the, from cave cut to the standalone structural temples. Now what is the science behind temple? As I told you, this they have given a principle around which you can develop your ideas, but certain ideas has never changed. Now the Sanskrit manuals narrating temple architecture were not rigid system. Rather, they were guidelines based on the principles of science and architecture, and the artists were given room for innovation and their ideas, implementation and novelty. So that was a glory, and that is how the so many varieties are developed. This is the earliest temple. When you will find, see, the standalone, that few walls are there, few pillars, stones are there, but Nandi is there. This is open Nandi Mandapa. Look at this. Then there is a roof. This is all temple development I am showing you. how it evolved. Now here you have got 4 walls, entrance and roof. Look at these 2 small shrines. As I told you, Aiholi is a laboratory. It was considered laboratory experimentation. So here you will find all sorts of. Sangameshwar is a glory. And here you are finding is primitive temples also. In same premises. Again, UNESCO approved. UNESCO has already recognized it. See the small shrines. Here we are starting. This is Chapragudi of Aiholi. Again, it is a simple temple, looks like a house, but this is how the temple started developing. Just from the cave cut, now we are towards a structural area. You are seeing some markings here, numbers? Yes, they are given by ASI. That means it is rehabilitated. This temple was somewhere else. From there they have shifted here, or they have found the stones and they have constructed later on. So that's a good work by ASI department. They are doing excellent work of maintaining the temples, maintaining the premises, and also restoring. Now look at this, all primitive temples, but they tells you the glory and beauty. Now this is a very interesting. This is called Lad Khan. Interesting, na? Lad Khan. Okay, Lad Khan, because Lad Khan was a commander of Bahamani Sultan who was keeping here weapons and sometimes residing over here. From him the name is derived. But if you find it detailed, I'll show you another pictures also. It will look like a village council hall. Look at this. Exactly like wooden plank, wooden blocks. So this temple resembles village council hall. That is how they developed. Structural. But like village council hall, here it is showing in more detail how the roof is made from the blocks and the circular stones. Just like a wooden one. They must have had something in front of them. You can see also Koti Koti temple. That is also near to it. This is from Aihole. Now we'll come to the another portion of addition. That is the Toranas. Torana is the entrance, and they have decorated this entrance with the help of many structures. There are different toranas, different ways decorated, either away from the temple. You can see Nandi means it has to be Shiva temple. Look at this. Decorated, nicely preserved. You can see again same temple from the distance. Same temple from different angle. This all are from Aihole. Here also you will find lot of temple in different constructions. And then comes the toranas over the door. Here it is small, slightly more decorated. And this is the ultimate of it. When we'll be seeing this temple, Ballur, we'll be seeing it in more detail. The torana, that is the above the gate, has carved Vishnu avataras. How you can make out? You can find out a Garuda with a little wings. Yes, correct. So it is nicely decorated. Look at the carvings. Look at how many things they have carved in it. So this is the last and ultimate of the Toran technology. Nothing can be more than that. These are the water reservoirs. Sometime natural, sometime artificial, sometime partially prepared or partially artificial. This was the Agastya lake of Badami, which is again man-made, working nice for more than 1200 years. This is another large water reservoir that is called Harihara Tirtha. Tirtha means water reservoir, holy water. Harihar is a combination of Shiva and Vishnu. This is again from the Hampi. Nicely built, well stepped. This is from the Aihole. All Dravidian temple has reservoir near it, nicely decorated. You can see Gopuram here. So this has to be Ballur. Again a water reservoir. different type. This is one. Ihore temple complex has got 2 reservoirs. This is one and another is at near Durga temple. So you got 2. This is interesting. This is called Huli Keri. Huli is a tiger and Keri is a water drinking. Now how this water reservoir is given a name of Huli Keri? Actually this belongs to the Queen Shantala Devi who constructed it. He liked the place. Look at the bravery. The queen liked the place where tigers are coming to drink the water, and she said, convert it into my bathing place or into the water reservoir. So they have constructed, and the glorious part of it is once you are inside, or let us imagine yourself inside, if you look up, you will find nakshatras and Rashi chakras. So that's the glory. So full universe you can see if you look up. What are the ideas of a swimming pool? What are the ideas of a bathing place? What are the ideas? I mean, it is beyond imagination that you want full universe when you look up. It was a private bathing place or water reservoir. From here, she was going to the temples which were next to it. Now, all beautiful carvings are there. This is interesting. This actually carries water and you can find it as a canal. Once it was found out in Vijayanagara, Hampi, they found out this well. Now look at the geometry, symmetry, type of construction, how they must have done it. What is the perfection they have maintained it. It was available today only because it was untouched. The reason is it was full of mud. So they could only found out with the draining water that there is something, and when they dug, they found out this beautiful. Now coming to Nandi Mandapas. Nandi, whenever there is Shiva, there has to be Nandi, and whenever there is Vishnu, there has to be Garuda. We'll see both. Now this Nandi can be in open Mandapa, then this can be Nandi Mandapa, or he can be open air. Look at this giant Nandi are at 2 places. One thing is Ihore and second is at Hampi. 2 big bulls you will find. And third next to it is in the Haibedu. So 3 large bulls they have made, and looking at that you can imagine, once you are seeing a person near it, you will imagine what should be the height. Now can you identify where is Nandi? This is the only temple which it has got in that way. Look at the Antara, look at the Shikhara, and Nandi is sitting on top of it. This is near, what type of temple it is? Hoysala. So has to be Arsekeri. So this is a Arsekeri temple, where the bull is sitting right over the antram. This is the Mandapa or place for the Garuda temple. Everybody knows it, looking at the 50 rupees note, that this picture is there, that it is Garuda Mandapa. So vehicle, Vishnu's vehicle was Nandi. For him also a Mandapa was given, or chariot was given. Interesting. Now this is Virupaksha temple. We are coming to the Gopuram. This is another structure which is outside temple, many times constructed later on. This is from Vijayanagar. One thing is Vimana, second is Gopuram. Look at the Gopuram. So you should take Gopur Darshanam from the distance and follow the temple. This is again same Vijayanagara, Virupaksha temple. Now this is also Gopuram. Here the construction they are done is in the bricks. So you can see the bricks. This is from the Bellur, and this was constructed by Vijayanagar. Look at the style is same, Vijayanagara style. Now here we come to end of part 1. Part 2 we are going to discuss further more details of the temple architecture. Do visit us. Do meet us at the next lecture on video. Till then, goodbye, good luck, and take care. This is Dr. Anil Joshi logging off.